Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Pits of Motorcast. This is your host, Dave. I got a line special guest from the Classic American Muscle Association, Mike Stockinger. How's it going, Mike?
I'm good. How you doing, Dave?
I'm great. Except, it's kind of cold outside, though.
Oh, man. Is it ever? I'm thinking about putting snow tires on the 56.
So how did the year go for you, Mike?
Well, the year went great. The first race blew the rear end out of it. So that kind of sucked. I had to push it up on the trailer and took it over to a buddy, Shane, and he got us all set up, and the car ran better than ever throughout the whole season, kept getting faster and faster, and I guess overall it was a great season, and I'm pretty happy.
Now, how long have you been running with this Classic American Muscle Association?
Since it started. Tracy, we've been racing with Tracy and them for a few years, and we just kind of branched off to them. They asked us to be a part of it, and it's just a fun group of cars, big burnouts, big wheel stands, and awesome guys. I just cannot ask for a better group of guys to race with. And we've been with them since day one, and it keeps growing and growing, and we look forward to the many seasons to come.
Yeah, I love watching you guys at Great Lakes Dragway, man.
Awesome.
You guys and the Pro E85 guys are an awesome bunch of guys too.
Oh yeah, they're some great guys. Frank and every one of them, they're just awesome, personable guys, and it makes a lot of fun. It's drama free.
And of course the Chicago Wise guys, another great bunch of guys.
Oh yeah. That's my dream one day, to be strapped into a Wise guy. I tell you that. Those cars are awesome to watch.
Oh yeah, they got so many different kinds of cars in there. Yeah, it's
That's what makes it cool. It's it has all the body styles are there, and it's that's what I love about it.
Got twin turbo, you got blown alcohol, you got the nitrous oxide. It's all different kinds.
Yep. It's cool.
Yeah, if you got the need for speed, Mike, there you go. You don't want to go 6 seconds.
Excuse me?
No, I said if you got the need for speed, then there you go. Try to get in the Wise guys.
Yeah, absolutely. Trust me. You can't go fast enough. We started, in the high 12s, and it's just 13 seconds. It's like, oh my God. Oh, what I would give to get into the low 12s, and then you get there, and it's like you get, oh man, I want an 11-second pass, and you get there, and then, oh man, trends are right there. Let's do that. It's a never-ending need for speed and to go faster. And I thank my dad for that, because it's a family affair with the 56. And my brother Brian, he has that beautiful '79 Camaro, the blue one, and it's cool. We spend, that's how I spent my childhood growing up, was watching my dad, or handing my dad wrenches. So that's how I grew up. All my friends were playing video games, and I was in the garage learning swear words and how to throw a wrench. So it's one traded for the world.
Yeah, then you watch the Wise guys going 6 seconds, 7 seconds. Yeah, you're like, man.
Yep. If that don't hook you, nothing will.
Yeah. Now your brother Brian drag races too, right?
Yep. He's got that blue Camaro. That was his first car, actually. When he was 16 years old, I still remember getting that car. And obviously it's come a long ways. But yeah, it's me and my dad with the 56, and then Brian with the Camaro, and we got a couple other tricks up our sleeves and cars laying around that we're building. Got a cool 49 pickup that we're going to make into a gasser. All kinds of projects.
So now, how did the drag racing begin for you? Was it all your dad's fault?
Oh yeah, 100% my dad's fault. Yeah, he, never had a ton of money growing up, but just had a passion for it. So he would take us down to Great Lakes Dragway, and we would basically live down there all summer and got to know everybody. And me growing up personally, my favorite group to watch was the believe they were called. No, I don't think they were called, with like Wally Bell and Charles Carpenter, and I forget what those were called back then. But so yeah, definitely my dad. He took us down there every chance he could get, and I'm sure glad he did.
So now, when you used to go to Great Lakes Dragway years ago, did you get to meet Broadway Bob?
Oh yeah, many times. You can't get over that sweatshirt and those glasses, and sitting on the jet car, and yep, I experienced all that. I still remember the Christmas lights behind the burnout box, hanging from the broken trees, and I remember those 80s, and it was awesome. Got to meet Garlitz and Perdome, and yep, many memories there, and it's by far, we've branched out to different tracks and stuff, but there's nothing like being at the Grove.
Yeah, Broadway was one of a kind, man.
Yep, he sure was. That's why he's in the Hall of Fame, and he'll always have his foot in that track.
He was a damn good promoter.
Yep, he sure was. He knew everybody, and he knew how to talk to people and treat people.
So do you have a great Broadway Bob story to share?
I do. We were. I forget exactly where we were, but we were back behind the water box, and he was standing there with a beer, and he walked right in front of me, and I was just this little kid, and I had a fro. I don't know if my parents didn't know what a scissors was, but I always had a head full of hair, and he kind of grabbed my head and said, "I'm about to do something real stupid." And then that's when he went to sit on the jet car, and that was one of those moments that was like, wow, and it just kind of stuck with me. And that's one of those fateful pictures where he was, sitting on the jet car as it was bumping in. So, yeah, pretty cool.
Yep, I remember the Doug Rose's Green Mamba jet car.
Oh yeah, I know. What a sad, happening there this summer with that, because I remember watching that Green Mamba go down there too, and what a great guy he was. I never really get a chance to talk to him much, but from what I've heard and saw, he was an excellent guy.
Yeah. So now, what year did you start drag racing?
Well, I would say I've been religiously racing for probably five years now. Not full time for what I do. I obviously work besides that, but for 5 years now, we've been racing with different gasser groups, and every year, once or twice a month, we're down at the Grove with our group and doing our thing.
So now, have you driven any other cars besides the one you're currently driving?
I've made some passes in my brother's car and stuff like that, and I had a Fox Body Mustang for a number of years that I built, and so I raced that a little bit, but never in a group. It was just go down there to have some fun. But the only class car was the 56, and we built that around that gasser style, but now it really fits well with the group we're in. Does a heck of a burnout, and pulling the wheels this next year, we got a couple more tricks up our sleeves to get those wheels up a little higher, but it catches a lot of eyes.
Now, the 56, is that a Belair?
No, it's a 210.
Ah, okay.
Yep.
So now, what kind of engine do you have under the hood?
454, big black Chevy, 4-bolt main. That's one of the things, we still have the cast head, the real good head on it, but, we go to aluminum head, lighten up the front end a little bit this next year, and, one thing we pride ourselves about that car, too, is it's all steel, minus the hood. The hood's glass, but it's all steel, full interior, still has the back seat. So, it's not cut up by any means, and, we're running low 11s and knocking on the 10s now, and we just want to keep it, a true non-cut up car, it's mini tubbed and still on a leaf spring and things like that, so just wanted to keep it as old school as possible.
Right. So what kind of tires you running on, Mike?
Well, we have a QuickTime Pro on there now, which seems to work really well. We had a radio on it for the first couple years, and that went good because we would drive it to the custard stand, and it still gets a fair amount of street driving. But now this QuickTime Pro, it seems like we can get away with, a not so perfect track and hook up and not have to worry about spinning so much.
So now, what's been the quickest ET you've had with the car?
Quickest ET was 11:36.
And that was at the Grove, of course, right?
Yep, that was at the Grove.
Now, do you run any other tracks besides Great Lakes?
Once, we're getting talked into going up north and racing over there at WIR, but we have yet to do so, over the last few years. But really, the only track that we're religiously racing at is the Grove, because that's where our group is pretty much, that's kind of our staple track. But I think this next year there's a little bit more talks into us branching out, probably doing Byron and stuff like that, maybe.
All right, now besides your dad being a big inspiration for drag racing, were there any, like drivers back in the day that were been inspirational?
Truly, probably, Don Garlitz and the Snake. I'm pretty old school at heart. I love those old A-Day guys, but yeah, I would say Garlitz, and my dad's biggest fan, or he's the biggest fan of John Force. Loves John Force. So, the biggest names in the sport, I would say I'm right there with it. We had Force sign the dash of the 56 and Garlitz sign the dash of the 56. So, it's pretty cool, but yeah, definitely by far seeing those guys match race and things like that when I was a kid, that was pretty freaking cool, and those are the guys that I really looked up to.
Now, how about a guy like Arnie the Farmer Beswick?
Oh yeah, gotta love the farmer. Watching him grow up too, and the tameless tiger, and yep, you betcha. It's crazy. His clock just keeps on going.
Yeah, he goes faster backwards than he does forward.
Yep. Yeah, I don't know how the heck those guys do that, because God, even in the 56, sometimes you do a burnout past the tree and you try to go quick back. It's not an easy thing to do, and those guys make it look easy.
Yeah. So now, when you take the 56 out on the track, how many crew members do you have with you? Who are your crew members?
Well, crew member wise, number one crew chief is of course my dad. He's right there, and Brian. My wife Aubrey and Brian's wife Ann. They're always there at every race. My mom Linda, she supports it from afar. She doesn't really get into sitting at the track too much, but my wife and Brian's wife, and of course my dad, we're sitting there. We got a lot of fun happening in the pits, in between rounds, and shooting a what. It's a fun group of, having family down there, and that's what it's all about. I have an 8-year-old son. His name's Jax, and he's right there. After every run, I go to get my time slip. He's right there standing with my wife, and he hops right in the car, and that's his favorite part, is to take a ride back in the pits in the car after the run. And so we have all our things that we do every nuts, and wouldn't trade it for the world.
Now, do you think you see a junior dragster in the future for young Jack?
Oh yeah, you betcha. My dad always tells me, Mike, maybe you want to, instead of getting a king prime rib, you want to go to a queen prime rib and shed some of those pounds to get the car faster. And that's always the ongoing joke, because we're a bigger group of guys. So hopefully Jax gets a little older sooner than later, and we can get that car into the 9s with that little guy.
Yeah. So what was the experience going down a drag strip for the first time drag racing, Mike?
Well, I tell you, that's what definitely hooked me. The feeling of pulling into the water and grabbing that line lock, and it's like the whole world ends. I mean, it's pretty pretty cool stuff. You know, you do your burnout, you get up there and stage. You know, heart's beating. There, until you've done it, and until you stage the car, and it's a pretty cool experience, and that's what's definitely hooked me on it. That and the family time. You know, of course the car breaks, things break, that's all part of it, but the bonding and family time is by far the best.
Now you don't have any sponsors, right?
No sponsors. You know, we're truly just doing it by ourselves for the love of the sport and for our group. You know, like I said, the Classic American Muscle Association has been absolutely wonderful. But yep, no sponsors.
So now, when you got a weekend of racing coming up, say you got a week, say it was this weekend, what would go into preparation to get the 56 ready for a weekend of drag racing?
Well, you know, of course, you know, we'll always go, you know, the week before and put a new set of plugs in it, make sure everything's set that way, make sure the oil's changed, make sure the water's up, make sure the catch can's empty, just do it once over, adjust the valves, and, you know, that's pretty much our go-to is just, you know, we have our little bullet point list, got to make sure everything's set that way, and, typically, you know, it'll take, you know, a good day or two to get it ready, and knock on wood, nothing breaks, and do it all over again the next race.
Now, have you ever done the 8th mile racing?
I have been there to watch. You know, I've never personally done any 8th mile racing, but God, is it a blast to watch.
Yeah, I know the guys that do that say it saves on wear and tear on the car.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, definitely.
So now, where do you get all your fire safety equipment from, like your fire suit, your helmet, and everything?
Yeah, I have a G-Force racing suit. It's a 2-piece suit. And then my G-Force helmet. Got a 6-point roll cage, a roll bar in the car right now. We wanna upgrade that as we get faster here. But that's all plated in and set. You know, we have all the safety equipment needed. You know, drive shaft loop and, you know, you name it is all right there. But like I said, the faster you go, the more bolt-ons you got to do to keep you safe. And, you know, of course, that's our main objective is keeping the car as safe as possible.
Now, you said you've been racing about 5 years now, right?
Yep.
So in those 5 years, have you reached any milestones?
Yeah, I mean, the last race of the Time Machine National race, Dave Meyer, who's an awesome asset to our group, he welds up broken parts, camshafts, crankshafts, different things, and he'll weld up trophies. And the last Time Machine Nationals race, we had our trophies, and I won out of our entire group. I won the quickest reaction time. I kind of pride myself on good lights. So I won the trophy. It's a Christmas tree with a camshaft. So that was kind of a cool thing this year. That was our second trophy we won with the car this year. I got the other one over by the old man. He's got it sitting by his bar downstairs. So I got one, he's got one, and we had many a beers that night after getting the car home, celebrating those trophies.
Nice. So now, throughout your drag racing career so far, have you had any close call accidents or any accidents at all?
Yeah, unfortunately I have. I had the car pretty much sideways at the traps. Just kind of got greasy out there. That's kind of the one thing that gets a little scary about Great Lakes is, you know, once you start getting the dew off of the cornfield at the end of the night, it starts getting a little greasy, and until it happens to you, you hear about people talking about it, and I went through the traps and felt the rear end start squishing around a little bit, and next thing you know, the car's starting to go, and I would manage to say that, you know, nothing happened, thankfully, but sure makes a guy think about going down a wet track. I mean, it wasn't raining or nothing, but that dew coming off that field.
Right. Now let's see. I think we're at the fun question now. You ready for some fun questions?
Do I have any questions?
No. I said you ready for a few fun questions now?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
All right. Now say someone came up to you, Mike, and offered to give you $200 million to build a brand new drag race track. Where would you consider building a new track, and what kind of features would you put into a brand new drag race track?
Well, I'd have to keep the track here in Wisconsin. I'd have to keep it local. Between Chicago and Wisconsin here, and keep it in the same area. And just keep it fan friendly. Always have different things going on to attract people. Keep everything safe. Keep the racers happy. And number one is just go into it having fun and stress-free, drama-free, and I have nothing wrong with the track that we at Great Lakes. It's got so much history, so we'd have to keep it here.
All right. Now, do you have any hobbies outside of drag racing?
Yeah, I love my hunting and fishing. I love it. I got a really nice fiberglass Warrior boat. Do a lot of walleye fishing and stuff like that, and I love my bow hunting for whitetail. So that's my pride outside of racing.
Oh yeah, I did see that in your photos on Facebook. A lot of big walleyes, man.
Oh yeah. We love our walleyes, and I try to keep the kid off the video games as much as possible, and keep them on the water, in the woods, and at the drag strip.
So where do you mainly go fishing at?
I love the Bay of Green Bay. That's got a lot of big walleyes, big muskies out there, and Lake Winnebago and stuff like that around our house. We're in West Bend, Wisconsin, so we keep it pretty local for the most part. But Bay of Green Bay is my favorite.
All right, now this next question is in the Classic American Muscles Association. Do you have a greatest competitor in that group, or all of them?
No, we're all. I wouldn't say that I have one guy that I would like to beat, other than my brother. But like I said, it's very stress-free group of guys. We're just looking to put on a show for the fans, and but there's really not one person that I want to go out there and beat and just like, oh man, I want to get him. Of course we want to win every time we line those cars up, but we'll see what happens next season. I'm sure we'll end up having somebody with our number, and I'll have to cut a good light to get around them.
Now, are Tina and Brooke the only two females in that group?
Yep. Tina and Tracy.
I thought Brooke was in there too.
Oh yeah, and Brooke. Yep.
Yeah. So
we got three girls in there, and they're all three of them are excellent. They know how to drive those cars, and the Cesarios, what an awesome family they are too. Dino, and they're awesome. Brandon. So, God, I can't wait for next season now that we're talking about it.
Yeah, it was good to finally see Dean, the father, getting the wise guys finally after these.
I was talking to him at the starting line, and like, man, you're really doing it. And he can drive those cars. Dean's a great guy.
Oh yeah, I heard he's been trying to get in that group for years, and he finally got in there.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Pretty cool stuff.
Yeah. So now, if you could do time traveling, Mike, and go backwards in time, would you do anything differently with the drag racing career?
I think I would. I'm young enough. But I think I would have went more in on it earlier. And got a roller and started building something myself a little earlier in the game. I got a soft spot for a Nova like Tracy's. I really love like a 68 to 72 Nova, and that's coming in my future. But yeah, looking back, I don't think I would change much because it's a family affair. But I just wish that maybe would have got something a little cheaper back when I was younger, and that I could have wrenched on for all these years. And but I'm young. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. All right, so here's an easy question. What's your favorite food to eat?
My favorite food. I love me a prime rib. That's my favorite. I enjoy prime rib.
All right, what's your favorite beverage?
Whiskey. I'm a whiskey guy.
And
Whiskey water with a splash of sweet.
and how about favorite non-alcoholic beverage?
I would say a sun drop.
What's a sun drop?
Soda.
Oh, okay. And, now, do you have a favorite movie of all time?
Yeah, Goodfellas.
No, you like
Yep.
the gangster movies, huh?
I do like the gangster movies. Goodfellas, yeah, and that's an awesome movie. And American Graffiti.
How about The Godfather?
Oh yeah, that's a good one too. Can't go wrong there.
Scarface.
Yep, the list goes on.
Yeah. So what's your music to listen to, Mike?
Well, I would say, it depends what mood I'm in, but mostly classic rock. Your hair band stuff. I enjoy it.
Now, do you have a favorite classic rock band?
I gotta say, probably Tesla. I enjoy Tesla.
Very good band there.
Yep. Def Leppard.
I like older Def Leppard, not the newer stuff.
Yep, I would agree. I agree.
When Rick Allen still had two arms, they were a lot better.
Yep. We saw them at Summerfest a few years back, and that's insane what he can do with one arm. I tell you that. That's insane.
Yeah. Now, when you're at the track, do you have certain eating habits, or do you eat regular at the track?
Can you tell me that again? I'm sorry.
When you're at Great Lakes Dragway, do you eat regularly or do you eat light?
I still didn't hear you. I'm so sorry. You're cutting out.
All right. I said, when you're at the track, do you eat regularly or do you eat very light? For eating habits at the track, do you eat regular or you eat a little bit only during the race day?
Just regular.
I know some guys, they don't like to eat too much during the race day.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely eat less when I'm at the track, because typically it's 100 degrees there. And so typically I'm just power jacket ice waters.
Yeah, then at the end of the night, then you eat after the races are done.
Yep.
Yeah. All right, now, can you think of one most embarrassing moment on the track?
No, I mean, I think we covered it pretty good. I mean, the biggest moment on the track that I enjoy the most is seeing my dad next to me, when we're lining up in the water, and it's cool on our test passes and stuff like that, lining up next to that weather, and knowing all the work that we put into the cars to get to that point, and like I said, having Dad look at both cars in between us when we're doing our burnouts, that's something that I'll have with me for the rest of my life, and that's by far the best.
Now, do you have a most embarrassing moment on the track?
Yeah, as far as embarrassing moments, I would say probably when I blew the rear end out of it on our first race this year. That was one of the only times that I ever let go of the trans brake and went nowhere. So that I was just hoping and praying I wasn't that guy that put the rear end fluid all over the track, but turned out well. It all stayed in the case. So, but yeah, that's never good to break stuff.
Nah. Now, if you weren't a drag racer, what do you think you'd be doing with your life?
Well, if I wasn't drag racing, I'd definitely be hunting and fishing, but, the number one I choose is definitely the drag racing, because I get to spend it mostly with, the family. But yeah, if I wasn't drag racing, you'd find me jigging walleyes or casting muskies, most likely.
So now that what you were just talking about a couple minutes ago about lining up with your brother on a trip, would that be your fondest memory of your drag racing career so far?
Yeah. Yep. All
right, now, how important How important do you think it is for the families to bring kids out to watch drag racing these days?
Well, it's so important. That's our next generation, and I've always been the kind of dad that enjoys to have fun with the guys, and I like to have my guy time just as much as anybody else. But to have your son along with you at the track, and put the beer to the side, and just have him have his headphones on and watch from car to car, and there's nothing better for that child. And when we're sitting in the pits and we're hanging out, I don't care what's wrong with the car. I don't care how the car is acting. If there's a guy with a little kid walking next to the car and they're looking at the car, I'll put every wrench that I have in my hand down and have the kid sit in the car. I mean, that's it. And that's what happened to me when I was a kid with Garlitz and all those guys, growing up there. So I'm hopefully in some way making that kid's day whenever that does happen. So yeah, bring your kids to the track. That's our next generation.
Definitely. All right, couple more quick questions here. We'll be done. What was your favorite cartoon growing up?
My favorite cartoons?
Yeah, when you were a kid.
Oh, he really enjoys.
Your favorite cartoon when you were growing up.
Oh, my favorite. Well, I enjoyed the Flintstones. I guess was probably my go-to. Yeah, I mean that was pretty much my favorite one was the Flintstones, I guess.
What was your favorite TV show?
Favorite TV show? Well, growing up, as I got a little bit older, was probably Saved by the Bell. But now we love watching Deadliest Catch and things like that on the TV. Me and my wife love, and I even got her roped into watching Street Outlaws too, because that's a pretty cool show, and I like the new Memphis one and stuff. So, yep.
Okay, so now the best way for people to find the schedule would be on the Classic American Muscle Association Facebook page?
Yep, absolutely.
All right, so, well, Mike, I want to thank you very much for taking time to do an interview tonight.
Not a problem, Dave, and it was a pleasure, and you take care, and anytime you need anything, man, let me know.
You have any final words or thank yous you want to give out to anybody?
Yeah, I mean, I just want to thank Stephen Tracy, and Dave, and of course my old man Jim Stockinger, and Brian, my brother, and my wife, and just wanna thank everybody for being so supportive, and just looking forward to years to come in the Classic American Muscle Association. Anybody listening in that hasn't seen a race where we're involved in it, I want you guys to come down and watch. It's a heck of a show, and we got a lot more up our sleeves for this year. We have quite a few new cars that are getting into the group, and it should be an awesome season. Can't wait to see you.
Sounds great. Well, the wife and I look forward to seeing you next season at Great Lakes Dragway.
That sounds good. Same here, Dave.
We'll definitely have to stop by the pit area and say hi to you and all that.
That sounds great. I look forward to it.
All right, you have a great night.
All right, you too.
And have a great Thanksgiving coming up next week.
All right. You as well, man.
All right, bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.